Hello and welcome to Critical Questions, the antidote to lockdown boredom. I've trawled the internet for the best, worst, most interesting and ridiculous dumb questions I can find. And with any luck, my guests will
people.
You're learning quick about this show, Nacho.
Yeah.
I've been around the block, mate. I've been around the block.
Fine. Right, today we have got with us Manda, Badger,
Hello.
MathPig,
Oink.
Nacho,
Hello.
Jeff.
Oi, oi.
Right. Oh, right. We have a very serious question to start with.
Oh, fuck me.
Really?
Okay.
Not the question.
Question 563. Would you rather have 3 buttocks or 7 nipples?
God damn it.
3 buttocks or 7 nipples.
Yes.
I thought that's a
Well, I
serious.
can remove the nipples.
Say again?
What's the point of the nipple? See, this is where okay. See, our buttocks has a purpose. You know, physically it does a thing. It does, many things it can do, but it does a main primary function. Whereas a nipple only does something mostly for the female, and even then, it's only temporary, so to speak, as for its real uses.
I think they can be.
Usually thought nipples are pretty fucking useless.
They are pleasurable.
To put it bluntly.
They are
Question.
pleasurable the rest of the
Well,
time.
Question.
is that all this is about? Is it about pleasure?
Question time.
I mean,
Go on.
I want to know if that's what it's about.
Right.
Can I answer for somebody else having the buttocks? I mean,
Sure.
If you are of the kind of lady persuasion,
Uh-huh.
do you get 7 breasts?
Oh, so it's not just the nipple but the whole breast. That's a good question.
I'll let Manda decide.
No. Fuck
No.
no.
So you get an assortment of like sort of 3 and 4 nipples on either side.
Okay. I'm not sure I can pick the buttocks though, because I've got enough trouble with the one I got.
You've only got what?
I'm gonna go nipples on that very same basis.
Yeah, fuck it. I can hide the nipples with the fur.
There you go. Nerdy says nipples are pretty
That's a good
sensual.
one. Nipple.
Big Zebra says, with 3 buttocks, could I sit comfortably? You could sit very comfortably.
You could
Wouldn't it
sit
be
so
more
comfortably
comfortable?
you never
Do you have
stand
more
again.
push?
There you go.
Which?
That's
Who?
it.
I say, wouldn't it be more comfortable?
Yes. Well, that was my
You'd
point.
sit so comfortably you'd never stand again.
No. Manda.
The nipples, I guess. They're pretty useless anyway, but not as obnoxious as having more. Yeah.
More
Nipples.
piercings.
Oh yes, more piercing. Fuck
You
yeah.
could just have nipple piercings
it'd be a
everywhere.
wicked draw.
Manda.
You
I
would have just
reckon
answered.
Oh, sorry, I meant MathPig. See, I looked at Manda. And then MathPig.
No, we'll go with the nipples.
Go with the
If
nipples.
you really don't like them, you can get them removed.
This is
Ah,
why is your solution answer to almost all the questions about extra body parts to get them removed?
Do you do remember at the very start that you said that's the right idea?
Oh,
No.
fuck.
I reckon the nipples should migrate.
What do you mean migrate? On their own?
Yeah, just like
Wait.
move around.
As in, wait.
And
Every now
take
and
any-
then, like every month or so, they change places.
Yeah,
only
and
creep.
take any piercings that they have with them.
Okay, fair enough.
They get a little suitcase for
whatever
the
your kink
piercing.
is, man.
Seraphim says, my butt is big enough as it is. Don't need to make it worse, so I will go with the nipples. Wooly says 7 nipples.
Uh-oh.
Jeff, you were
Uh-oh.
nipples. Badger, you were nipples. NotJah, what were you?
Look, yeah, as I said, I'd answer for somebody else to have more butts, but if I had to have them myself, I'd probably go the nipple.
He makes a good point.
Excellent. Right, next question. Question 564. What are the things that people do that make their life unnecessarily harder, in your opinion?
Pick the nipples.
Oh, I gotta. I was
was
thinking something rather R-rated here. You know, is this for kids or?
Oh, hell no.
Because I can think of a lot of things that will make life harder. That is what we're talking about, right? I mean,
No,
you know,
that's not what we're talking about.
nipples in the butt. No, you know.
How about spend unnecessary amounts of time arguing about the definition of atheism and agnosticism online?
Yep, that'd go pretty high.
How does that actually make your life difficult?
Oh, that's going to come up in my next scripted video.
Ooh, that's pretty. Ooh, nasty.
Not what you did.
He's decided that having a car that's completely smashed to pieces.
Suspect. Go around.
Go around.
The point of this game for you to just fuck up every car you drive? Is that it?
One by one.
That's pretty much it, yeah.
Hit the truck.
All right, I think you're doing a fucking great job.
I'm pretty good at this game.
You're pretty good at this game. That's not the wagon.
He's going white van man now.
That's just not going to last.
That's just going off the cliff straight away.
Really keen on making this delivery on time.
Nerdy says they tune into shows like Critical Questions. Nerdy also says some people even like Disney Star Wars.
Do they?
Weirdos.
You can't blame any of us for that one this time. That was come from the chat.
I'm gonna turn that up to Nerdy's house. I'm gonna paint it pink.
You might like that.
Manda.
What was the question?
What are things?
Got to, actually.
What are things people do that made their life unnecessarily
Yeah,
harder?
harder, more. Yeah.
It's unnecessarily harder.
I hate like.
It's never
I mean,
necessary. Oh,
I'm-
wait,
I'm-
sorry.
It's okay. I'm surrounded by a lot of it here in the South, and it just seems like it makes everything harder for the people who hate and the people around them. It's fucked up.
But there are benefits to it. I mean, from the
I
perspective
mean, like
of
bigoted
tribalism.
hate.
Yeah, my point is there are benefits to it from the perspective of within a tribe.
Yeah, they may
It-
think
it-
so, but yeah. I don't know. It just makes everything harder for everybody else too. So
I've just
It
realised
does.
now I've got a new graphics card. Maybe I can play Mirror's Edge again. Alright.
Very cool.
MathPig,
Yeah, I go with overthinking.
overthinking. I hate overthinking.
Especially when it comes to a lot of your questions, Dave. I think that we do make this very difficult on ourselves.
You go off in ways I could never have imagined.
Hmm.
I mean, it never even occurred to me that anyone would pick up on harder in this. Which, considering you lot. Badger.
Yeah, so I have several answers to this. One is procrastination.
I love to
And
procrastinate.
specifically in the form
That's part
of
of life.
just distracting yourself from things you actually need to be doing by just doing some bullshit, and also
Like a video
just
game.
by getting so absorbed in so many different things that you can't think straight, both of which I do quite continuously.
Badger, why are you
Um,
here? Why are you here?
Shut up. And the other thing is People talk over Amanda, and she has the best answers.
Yes, we're back on it.
But she really needs to turn her microphone up.
No, she doesn't. That goes
Badger.
really badly.
Badger.
Oh, video now. Jeez, Badger.
I will talk louder. Is that better?
More aggressive.
Yeah, get aggressive.
Growl.
When have you ever known me to really be aggressive outside of?
You really
the
want
flattery
me
part?
to answer that question?
I'm good.
You're good. Nacho.
Yeah. Things that make things harder unnecessarily.
Yes.
Aside from my gaming talents.
Yes.
I thought there was no thinking involved.
I lied.
Yeah.
Oh, it's turned into me.
Well,
That's
making me think when it's already too late in the night. No, I think lack of empathy.
Mm.
Like, there is a sincere lack of empathy amongst a lot of different types of groups, especially these days. People are more inclined to like seclude themselves within their own little niche, and they're very quick to judge others that aren't in that niche. And I think that's something that really, it doesn't necessarily drag us backwards, but it doesn't help us go forwards in any way.
No, I completely agree.
Typical thing for an Aussie to say.
Ah, fuck you too. That's fucking racist, mate.
I've just got one that's maybe a little bit, so we say, more situational to me. But people make their working lives unnecessarily complicated by not listening to what their fucking union rep tells them time and time again. I'm just speaking from a bit of experience there.
Would you be a union rep?
I'm a deputy union rep now, but I was a union rep for 8 years. And one of the most frustrating things is actually trying to get your own members and stop your own members from doing stupid shit that was not in their own interests. So,
sounds about right. I think lots of people do lots of things that aren't in their own interest, though, and
But
all of them make it unnecessarily hard.
But even when it is like demonstrably fucking obvious that a 5-year-old could work out the fucking logic and they still do the same shit. After a while, it gets a little disheartening.
And yet, there still are right-wingers in America.
Yeah.
Sorry, Americans. Love yous. Dude.
Oh,
Right, she's the
love
worst
some of
for
us.
it.
I don't even love most of us. So.
Well, you know, me, it's just the vocal fucks are pretty obnoxious.
Yeah. Try living here. Just yeah.
No, thank you.
In the
I'm okay.
South.
I'm pretty good. I like where I'm at. I gotta admit. Pretty fucked up enough here. I mean,
We got enough of our own idiots.
oh, that was rough.
Wait, am I the only American again? God damn it! This is
Oh,
keep
God damn it.
happening.
Yeah.
we have a fake American.
You're a fake
We know he's in Nevada. He just claims to be in Australia.
Oh, okay.
Am I in Nevada?
Nevada, right? Well, I thought it was Nevada.
I thought it
Oh
was
no, I can't remember.
Nevada.
Somewhere like that. Yeah, it's probably Nevada. Yeah, that too.
Right.
That's,
In a completely unrelated way, the next question. Question 565. What would be the title of your sex tape? And how the hell did I rate that so wrong?
what?
What would the title of your sex tape be?
Oh. Nacho in. What did you say, Nevada?
Nevada.
There you go. Badger answered your question for you.
Oh God.
MathPig.
Oh, title of my porno. Watchman to Smile.
You think an awful lot of yourself.
Saying nothing.
Think or no?
This
Saying
is-
nothing.
See,
Shut the fuck up.
Dave, see, this is an unfair question because they can have like one answer between the two of them.
I had a different answer, but that's
See?
okay.
It doesn't involve MathPig. It involves someone
No,
better.
it does.
Damn.
Sorry.
Wait there. Nerdy says, "Ooh, good fan fiction ideas." Ilya says, "You've been mooned." Seraphim
I
says,
expect
"Free
fan
Melly,"
fiction.
and then makes whale noises. Big Zebra says, "Colliding stripes." Manda? Piggy goes, "Oink."
Amanda does MathPig, like Amanda does, like Debbie does Dallas, that kind of thing. I'm gonna shut up now.
Nice. Uh-oh.
Go in.
That-
Go in.
That's bad. That's bad.
Oh,
God.
there we go.
Oh no. Oh, there we go. I'm done.
You think
Oh,
you
that
were
was
done
rough.
as soon as you went over that cliff?
I think you could still
I
get
could have
part text on
saved
that.
it.
Jeff.
Look, we're still going forwards.
Jeez, I can't actually think of anything humorous to say for a change.
You're not really good at being critical of your sex life.
Well, I've got a feeling it'd be more of a fucking jacking off tape than a porn, you know.
Jeff does Jeff.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Before.
Still
Say
technically porn, but yeah.
Badger.
I'm
The
just
gym-
coming up with something.
How about the Gymshark Blues?
Uh-oh.
Ilya says, "Ilya feels Christ. Punch her in her."
Okay, I've got a couple of options. I think I might do a series. I was thinking something along the lines of "Put that thing away, you're gonna get us all killed." Other than that, badgers in the bush.
Badger's in the bush.
That's a good one.
That's good.
That would pass as a movie. Title for a porno, anyway.
Badger, found one here for you. Star Wars: A Nude Hope.
Oh dear.
God.
I'm just looking at various Star Wars quotes at the moment. There's this one. Back door, huh? Good idea.
What?
Nerdy says, "I think mine would be called something like Adventures in the Wasteland."
Hey, point that thing someplace else.
Doc says, "How not to have sex."
There's an awful lot of moisture in here.
Dave,
Yes.
Dave,
Yes.
Dave.
Amanda.
Answer the question.
What question?
The size of that thing.
That'll do.
No, I want your answer, Dave.
I haven't.
Go on.
Do you know what? In all that time, I didn't actually think of one. Oh shit. I've got nothing. Why didn't I think of one?
Okay, then let's
Yeah,
call
your
upon the
question.
chat to
I got
think
one
of
for you,
his
Dave.
porn.
I got one for you, Dave.
Go on.
Dave bounces on the ball.
Do you know what? I showed my thing yesterday in MathPig's thing, and Bill says it looks like I'm bouncing on a dick.
You did what about big
Dave and his dingling.
The purple balls underneath don't help. That's all I'm saying. But I thought it was
Critical
awful.
cock.
You did what to MathPig's thing?
MathPig's twat.
Leave my twat out of this.
Duck says offhanded comments. Seraphim says Dave's balls or Dave goes bouncing. Nerdy says
Bounces it hard.
Dave bounces it hard.
Uh-oh.
Do they do space hoppers with attachments?
I'm sure you can get one custom made.
I'm sure you can get yourself some duct tape and you'll be grand.
You're saying that, they're all going up and down like a fucking yo-yo right now, Dave.
If you get one of those with a little sucker on it, you could get a space hopper and just suck it on the top.
One of what with a little sucker on?
Yeah, what's getting sucked?
A protrusion.
A protrusion.
Yeah.
A protrusion's getting sucked. Okay.
Yeah, you can get those with a little suction
Is it a
cup
big
on the end.
protrusion or a little protrusion?
Oh, it's definitely going to have to be a big protrusion.
It's a big protrusion.
You get one with a little suction cup on the end. You attach it to your space hopper, and then you just there you go.
Nerdy says MathPig's backup dildo. Seraphim says there are ones with attachments. Is she a space hopper expert?
I'm still hoping somebody will get me that one from Bad Dragon.
I quite like quite a lot of the Bad Dragon range.
Saturday
Maybe
night.
more
We're back.
specific, Badger.
Say that again.
Nope, never mind. I don't.
She wants to know which one you want.
Specific.
Do you have the
I
picture?
can be specific. I do actually. Just give me a minute.
No, I don't.
No, I think I know what my porn title would be. White men can't hump.
I'm fairly certain that exists as a movie already.
Probably does.
Probably.
It's just trying to come up with like funny ones based on movies, which most of which exist.
They do.
Yeah.
Ilya says The Wet Moon Volume 1. Seraphim says Badger sure is knowledgeable.
Yes.
Nobody
Where
says-
have I put this bloody picture?
Do you not have a separate folder for your sex toys pictures?
I'm still sorting out the hard drives from the old PC.
Nerdy says The Decapitator.
Oh.
Not sure what that's in reference to.
God damn, you're right, Dave. It does fucking exist.
Of course it does.
Actually, there's some quite fun. There's some quite funny ones here. Actually, just found a whole list of them.
Any that would you think would suit you?
Oh, I've already said that once, but I don't know, let's have a little look in. Let's have a little look here for the Schindler's Fist.
Oh no!
Fucked up.
I
Spankenstein. Blown in 60 seconds.
Ah, here it is.
Oh fuck me.
right, just for Manda.
Oh,
Well,
there it
this,
is.
but this is
No.
what he's planning.
Not me.
Indiana Jones and the Temple of Poon.
There we go.
I've seen that one.
Is that one
That's
squirt?
the good stuff. You can get versions of it that do. While I'm here, I got something for you, NotJah.
Yeah.
Just let me find it.
B says she licked and then licked again.
There it is. Here
It's
you
the
go,
same
NotJah.
Good lord. What in the fuck?
Is that
Oh, it
ostrich?
was the whole
that
thing.
bothers me?
Why?
It's the whole thing a little while ago that Novadia should play Dr. Dolittle.
I can't even remember why we decided it should be her.
Because
Well, admittedly,
Really
she'd probably do a
objectively-
much. She'd do
Yeah.
a much better job than Downey Jr.
she's clearly objectively the best person to play Dr. Dolittle.
You don't think her hands are a bit hairy?
Yeah, I got nothing.
You got nothing. They're just her hands. Seraphim says there is. But how are we talking
Damn, dude.
How are we talking about dildo? Seraphim says there is a crucifix dildo.
Yeah.
Nerdy says
for dealing with
fleshlights for
vampires.
all. Sammy says, what are we licking? Seraphim says, Bad Dragon has some high quality stuff.
It does, yeah. It's really expensive, though.
And Sammy's arrived.
Oh, it's going to get dirty now.
So we're going to quickly move on to the next question.
That's probably a good idea.
Question 566. Should we rethink how long students spend in school?
Yes.
Probably.
Daily or weekly or yearly? Like what do you mean exactly?
It's focused more on leaving ages and so 16, 18.
Like about 16, 18, 19, whatever. Well, nothing. I've got nothing against like being in school longer at all. So
You could also go shorter.
yeah.
Well,
I mean,
it
all
depends
kids
what
could-
you guys have, doesn't it?
I mean,
We're now
Like,
18.
Some,
We
yeah, but
switched
some
to 18.
places got, like,
Sorry.
you know, you can leave at grade 10 if you want to go and do a trade, and you know, but you have to show that you're actually doing the trade. Otherwise, you stay till grade 12, kind of shit. Like, in every place, there's a little different idea. It depends what else you're doing, though.
I reckon school should be part-time, as should all jobs.
I think we're going to end up that way. Well, not necessarily school, but I think all jobs will. Well, it really depends on the governments we have. I can see government just fucking a load of people off and having a workforce that's tiny that works full time. And then a load of savages.
A load of fucking idiots just bumbling around like, oh.
Big orgy?
Oh, actually, yeah, I'm fine with that, as long as it's Bad Dragon.
Who isn't down for a big orgy?
What's disturbing, Badger? I think that's the most social I've ever heard you be.
Well, the orgy can happen, and I'll just be in the corner with the Bad Dragons.
By yourself?
Well, yeah, I don't mind watching.
How did it come back to this? I thought we were talking about school.
We are. So no one thinks it should be younger.
No.
No, I
Let
don't
them leave
think
at 13 and get a job.
So. I mean,
I thought you meant younger starting.
No. Younger leaving. I mean, you can't get a decent chimney sweep now that you've got to wait till they're 16 or 18.
Yeah, they're too big for that point.
Well,
They're too big to sweep the chimney effectively.
precisely. I mean, we discussed whether or not Angel could do it. He's got the hair, but he's too big still.
Yeah, but he's so skinny.
he's quite. Yeah,
He's
I'll
still
say
going to get stuck. You
Tell
see the
him,
size of his feet?
Tell him to grow his hair more so that it is wider than his shoulders, and then it would work.
Okay.
I'll say if he's got some of Amanda's, if he's inherited some of Amanda's gymnastics sort of talent, he might be able to be quite flexible, get up those chimneys, you know.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Just leave him up there anyway.
Nerdy says, keep them locked in. Oh, no, we need to read the first bit for him. Nerdy said, yes, I should stay there longer to get out. They should stay there longer to get out of my way. Maybe we could keep them in buildings for years and years. And then he adds, in fact, just keep them locked up until they can pass a test and then let them out.
And what would that test be? Would it be like something from the Saw films or something?
Well, you're going to make one student, the students fight it out between each other to see who gets out.
Yeah, one of them might get out.
I reckon there should be more areas that are adult only, and I don't just mean like things for adult in quotes activities.
No, I completely disagree. I think there should be
normal
more
stuff.
areas that are specific behaviours as expected. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense, but I think I think it's going to be much more difficult to do a cutoff in that way. Whereas if you just say,
I think you exclude people that you shouldn't.
I think if you just say this is an adult-only cinema, you cannot come in here. Then
Wait, have you never been to an adult-only cinema?
You know those things
that's what
exist, right?
That's the point I'm saying. There is there should be more adult-only things that are not just smut fests.
Yeah, that's all they turn into. Ilya says, if they taught taxes, government and politics, how the earth is a globe and how to be accepted and not a douche, then yes, go longer. Yeah, Sammy says they should go in. It skips. Students should stay in school till they can prove that they can disprove the flat earth.
I reckon that it would be good to actually teach students what the fuck national insurance is.
Yes?
Yeah.
But the problem is what national insurance is has changed.
Yeah, but I didn't know what it was before.
Do you know what it is now?
Nope. Well, in theory, yes, but I don't know how to fucking make it work. I've been on the phone to them for like literally hours.
It's a compromise on a compromise on a compromise that doesn't work. There we go. What the hell are they talking about now? MathPig? What's going on in the chat?
I don't know. Mom was trying to get an orgy sorted, and I'm saying no.
It's an orgy? What?
That's all.
You're not paying attention
What have I
to the
missed?
chat, Nacho. It's gone nuts.
I'd be fine with this orgy, as long as I don't need to be in the middle of it.
You have to be in the middle of it.
I'm happy to
I'm
be
not
in the
fine
middle
with
of
the
it.
orgy then. Nobody can orgy if I've got to be stuck in the middle.
I've already ordered a ton of jelly.
We'll lube you up.
What kind of
Yeah,
jelly?
like you can't just keep us hanging here, bro.
What kind of jelly?
What kind of jelly?
we've got Raspberry.
Aeroplane?
Roundtree's jelly badger.
Yeah.
How about hummus?
No, not very sexy.
Yeah, that's a fucking winner
If
of
you're
the party.
interested, I'll be in my quarters later, covered in tiramisu.
Oh, maybe get some gravy while we're at it too. Just live dangerously.
You're doing it wrong. It's supposed to be chocolate sauce. God damn it.
Says the lady in the whipped cream bikini.
That too.
Oh. All this chat's warping my fragile little mind here.
I'm just wanting Dave to hurry up with the questions.
Right. The next question.
You didn't ask me. What the fuck, Dave?
Yeah,
Oh no, I asked you a
Dave.
different version. Go on, Amanda.
No, it's fine. I don't have to answer.
No, you have to answer.
My answer's depressing anyway.
Go on.
I want it to be longer just because, Angel's 16 and 18 is coming up really soon, and I just want to keep them for a bit longer. So let's make them go to school.
Aw.
till they're
Yeah, wait there.
25.
The problem you've got with that is that's not about school. That's about when they leave home.
That's a difference.
That's a good point. Big difference
Once he's finished high school, he's going to leave and go to college. So,
Yeah.
Given the current financial situation, you might have him for a while.
Yes.
That's true.
I mean, to be fair, I rephrased this question because to try and be generic. It was originally college. Yeah, it's basically education.
He could just go to a college that's nearby.
There's
No,
lots of Bible
because-
colleges around there.
Yeah, we live in Georgia
okay.
right now. He's not going to a college in fucking Georgia.
Okay, fair enough.
You tell me there's not one decent university in Georgia?
I mean, not really.
No.
This is Diploma Mills.
Patriot Bible College, that's where he needs to go.
This
Fuck
is
no.
Diploma Mills.
No, he wants to go to my alma mater, which is across the country. So
That's because he knows how much fun they have there.
it's true. It is kind of.
Right. Next question, I think. If anyone else
Did you
objects.
answer though, Dave? Actually,
Again, I'm very divided. I can see the benefits of keeping them in. I think the entire fucking education system needs to be ripped up and
Fucked out the fucking window.
rebuilt from the ground up with an actual aim in mind. The problem is I don't think it will ever happen.
No.
In which case, if
won't.
that's not going to
Ours
happen...
isn't too bad.
The problem there is no one will agree on what the aim is.
Yes, that's the issue.
Mm.
Right? And assuming you can't rip it up, keep them in school longer.
so our head of education in our country, Betsy DeVos, who is well, okay, so you guys
Head
know
of
who she is. They have
Education.
I know.
delegated some
I
money.
don't know if she is. Someone explain it.
She's
Dave,
just like
Badger, do you remember when you said you kept talking over Amanda?
Yeah.
she's an evangelical who has no real experience, doesn't belong there. But there's been some money allocated for universities and schools because of, the COVID thing or whatever. And she has decided to take a percentage of it and give money to private Christian schools.
Like hers.
What, Dave?
Like hers.
Yeah.
Doesn't she do a load of private education?
Yeah, she's purposefully diverting it to try to get more people to send their kids to these schools and stuff too. So it's fucked. So sorry.
Somebody tell her not to.
She is the head of the Department of Education in our country.
The only person that could tell her not to is Trump,
Yeah.
and
that's
he
it.
doesn't give a flying fuck.
No.
And she makes the evangelicals happy,
Yes, she does.
and not in a good way. Because they're
Trump
never
got the
fucking happy in
best
a good way.
education. He has the biggest brain.
He has all the good words too.
I love them big words he uses.
That's quite a problem with this setup.
What?
All of it.
Right, I'm going to have a nice, easy question next, I think.
You say that, and it never is.
It is! This one's
Okay.
non-contentious. Question 567. Which has done more harm to and strayed further from their canon and flavour? Star Wars or Star Trek?
Ah, that's completely non-contentious at
Yeah.
all, isn't it?
Well, it's clear that Star Trek has.
Yep.
It's nowhere near the vision that Roddenberry had for it. He's not growling.
Tell me the phrasing of the question again.
Which has done more harm to and strayed further from their canon and flavour? Star Wars or Star Trek?
Yeah, I will say Star Trek,
I expected an argument here.
but I will
Contentious.
I will tell you what, because Star Wars, even though they've completely fucked the canon right up the arse, if you just look at it visually, it still looks like Star Wars.
You're talking about Discovery, aren't you?
Yes.
Yes,
it's
I'm
fucking-
talking about Discovery.
Take
Those are
Discovery
not
out.
Klingons. Those are albino Urukai with a head condition.
Yep. Fucking Klingons ruined the whole fucking show.
That's your problem with it?
That's
I
the
didn't
reason
watch
I
it
watched
because
it
of
out.
that. I saw that and I went, I'm not fucking watching that. Look what they've done to the Klingons. They clearly have no respect for the source material.
Badger,
No,
I
we
like you a
knew.
little bit more now. That was my exact thoughts as well.
We knew that the Klingons used to be different.
No.
Yeah, but they didn't used to look like
Orcs. Orcs.
But while we're on the topic, they've really fucked Star Wars right up the ass.
Amanda.
I don't know dick about Star Trek, so I have no answer to this.
Nacho.
What was the question?
Which has done more harm to and strayed further from their canon and flavour? Star Wars or Star Trek?
The fuck do I know? They're both garbage.
Good answer.
Right. I'm gonna come in with a very controversial opinion right now.
Go on.
Now you've got to bear it. I'm going to preface this by saying I've never really been a big Star Trek fan. Okay, I've watched some of the movies, but I couldn't really sit there and watch any of the TV series. Discovery is the only one I've actually been able to sit through and enjoy all the way. Now I've got to admit, the second series not so much. The first series I thought was good, but I don't have enough sort of reference to what is, say, Star Trek canon to really say has it gone too far from the original source material. But I would say probably Star Trek, because Disney owns the canon, and what they say is canon is canon.
That's very true.
Goal.
They can't stray from it because they control it.
Yes.
No, it's not. It's not true at all. Disney's non-canon in everything they do.
Yes.
Okay, stupid question now, and it will take the executive producer to look this up. Who owns Star Trek?
CBS, isn't it?
Yeah,
Who owns
CBS
CBS?
does.
I think so. Anyway.
Yeah, actually, because I just heard who was it? Jimmy Kimmel or something did shitty about. Oh no, the other guy. One of those late night guys.
I know what you're talking about.
Space Wars or Space Force or whatever logo was the same as the fucking Star Trek logo.
Yes.
So they're like,
Yeah.
I'm from, I represent CBS or whatever, and that's our, copyright. I'm actually curious to know the actual specific legality. I'm not too bad with the copyright law. That is actually a very close-knit fit for a copyright claim. And I'm curious to know if you can do that against the government. Yeah, that was the one thing I wasn't sure about. So
Most copyright things involving the government don't apply. Copyright is a completely granted privilege.
It would be. It'd just be so fucking great if the CBS did sue them and got a fucking win out of that.
Well, there was a split ownership between Viacom and CBS up until last year.
But one bought the other.
Yeah, it seemed like they both sort of had a claim to it or something. But August 13th, 2019, CBS and Viacom boards of directors reached an agreement, and it basically looks like they merged into Viacom CBS anyway. So
all because of Star Trek.
I don't think it was all.
Just wait, let me do the chat. Sammy says, sadly, Star Trek.
Be right back.
Okay. Trek is better than Wars. Seraphim says Star Trek. Robert says Star Wars. Star Trek is way better. People are fighting. Doc says Star Wars. Trek has always been diverse. I'm rolling a huge so I don't have to hear the words canon or Star Wars.
Right, here's the
and
problem.
Doc says I love Discovery. Go on.
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
I thought Discovery was alright.
The problem is that Star Wars they took all the things that were good about it and made them shit. Star Trek, they tried to make it into Star Wars while not understanding what either Star Wars or Star Trek were about, and made it shit. Because they tried to take Star Trek, which is a very thinky thing with a bit of action, about all kinds of different. It's supposed to be supposed to be presenting this semi-utopian society, and also looking forward into the future about potential scientific advancements and stuff like that. And they've taken that and just made a load of action films and series about it. And
have you watched the original series?
So what I'm hearing,
yes, I've watched the original series, and I've also watched the original series. I forgot where I was going with that. Yes, I watched the original
What I'm
series.
hearing from
There's a
Badger is
little bit
that
of
they're
accurate.
both shit.
The best shit.
I mean, but that's pretty much my assessment too. I agree with it.
I'm going to come round your house and eat all your sausages.
Go hard. I have one right here for you. It's long.
Right. I am very disappointed with the answers to that question. I expected more of a fight from at least two of you.
I can fight if you want.
No, it's all right. I got a nice next question, so.
I'll get rid of that avatar now. Then the question's over.
Question 5.
What should we have? Let's have asterisks back, shall we?
Asterisks.
Yeah.
Question 568. What is the dumbest thing you believed as a kid?
How many people here used to like believe in God? You know.
I was tempted to exclude God from this question.
Yeah, like it's not necessarily a dumb belief. In some cases it's dumb to those who believe, but it's not always a dumb belief.
No, it's not. It's not at all.
For me, it'd be things like the typical conspiracies, like your typical childhood ones, your UFOs, your Loch Ness Monster, all those things. Oh, Atlantis, you know. I loved those stories. I wanted them to be true. They didn't last anywhere near as long as the God one, though, that's for sure.
Did you have a Santa?
Me? No. No, I never had a Santa.
Never had a Santa. You go down department store at Christmas, you can get yourself one.
Yeah, I heard a lot about those ones, and I didn't have any interest in those types of Santas. I wanted the sort of Santa that would give me a really expensive fucking gift every year, you know, so I could have a toy to play with, like every other kid.
Oh, I keep going back to the JWs I grew up around, and it's just so depressing when they get to their birthdays and Christmas.
Yeah, no, it's not a lot of fun. It really is not a lot of fun.
Go on, Jeff.
Probably a similar answer to NotJah on some of that stuff. Yeah, I definitely believed in a lot of those sort of things, like Loch Ness Monster, that sort of thing. Yeah, I definitely believed them when I was a kid. But I'm trying to think. What other dumb things did I believe as a kid? I don't know. The Tories were a good government. I don't know. No, I was never that fucking dumb.
I'm gonna say you grew up with Thatcher.
Yeah, exactly.
I have to say I was tempted to answer this question with that the government isn't self-serving, regardless of ilk.
Yeah, I was never that dumb.
Doc says, my daddy loves me. Joke, I always knew he didn't love me. Robert says, I believe that my goldfish could fly, and it could, it just sucked at landing. Flying's easy. Seraphim, believing that swallowing water...
off of the ground and piss.
Yes. Believing that swallowing watermelon seeds would cause watermelons to grow in your stomach. Badger.
I got a couple.
Go on.
The funny one is that I used to, when I first originally watched Star Wars,
Always comes back to Star Wars.
I used to think that you could not stab with a lightsaber.
Why?
And I will tell you why, Bob. They never, at any point in the original trilogy, to my knowledge, thrust with their lightsabers. They always swing.
There's a reason for that.
Yes, because it's to break the props.
No, it was not just break the props, it's just effects.
Yeah. But they never do it in the original trilogy. So I was there watching it going, oh, so maybe they just don't work for that.
So when you saw episode 1, that really screwed you?
No, I kind of got over it before then. But
Is it episode 1 where he thrust it through the door and used it to open?
Yeah, that kind of brought the point home to me with episode 1. But The non-pithy one is that I used to think that people actually meant what they said.
Oh, that's a dangerous one to hold.
Mm.
Yeah, I used to think that if somebody said something to me, they were actually honest, and if
No.
they'd say.
The problem is I think your mistake there is thinking that honesty is a relevant factor in that.
Yeah, I used to think that if somebody said, "Oh yeah, I'll meet you there at this time," they would actually do it, or something like that. And after a lot of sort of disappointing encounters as a child, I became jaded to that fact.
I will counter that
Usually
with.
didn't mean what they said.
I'll counter that with that people want you to be honest because they don't.
Well, I don't mean in terms of things where being honest is possibly
No.
detrimental.
No. I'm going to explain my point. It's like the conversation with Sam this morning. Yeah? I could have answered him honestly. You didn't read any of it, did you?
No.
He went nuts. Anyway, the point being...
That's an understatement.
Right. I could have answered him honestly about how I am feeling. And about the reason that I cannot deal with this sort of conversation because of my drugs and how my head goes. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
He's not interested. He doesn't care. He can't appreciate it. You can't be honest. He doesn't want an honest answer. He just wants to be. He wants the answer he wants.
It's just sometimes people are in bad moods and they need to scream and they just want to hear what they want to hear so they can feel better.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not what I'm talking about. Well, it is part of what I'm talking about, but it's not the main thrust of my point.
No, you're talking about just the normal stuff that people aren't honest about. They don't think about.
Yeah. Well, not just that, but yes. I used to think that I used to take things far more literally than I now do. I still struggle not to, so I just tend to assume that I try to hear something like it's more of a struggle to me to hear someone say something like "I will be there at this time" and assume that that's what they mean. I struggle to understand sometimes that when they say that they mean.
The point is, again, that's one of those things that mean different things to different people.
Yeah.
If I agree outright to be somewhere at a set time, if I agree with you that I will be somewhere at 5 o'clock tomorrow, right? I will be there at 4 o'clock tomorrow, waiting for you.
Geez, that's a bit early though.
There's no point in waiting on me because I'll not be there to 1 minute to 5.
You're not going to get there at
maybe
5?
Like 10 to
But that's
quarter
still on
but
time,
yeah,
though, at least.
Yeah. My point being is, when I hear something, when I say I'm going to be somewhere, I stress about it so much
Yeah,
that I have to get
that,
there
but-
early.
Also, if something goes wrong and I don't make it at the time I said, or I forget, or something like that, I feel like the worst person in the universe.
Yes. Very much so. Right. MathPig.
What the fuck was the question? We've been rambling that long. Santa Claus. Take your pick.
What's the dumbest thing you believed as a kid?
Santa Claus, Tooth Fairy, things like that. We were in the UK. We didn't believe in young Earth creationism. We were grand.
You don't. You,
It felt like a slight to me, honey.
Pardon?
It kind of felt like a
You
slight
don't
to
believe
me
in
as
young girls.
an American.
It's a dig at the country, not at you.
It's not an exclusively an American problem. It's just
No.
it's just particularly bad in America.
Yes, and I completely blame their education system. Sammy, I've lost this one. Sammy says that I was evil for my sexuality. Robert says, I also believed my hamster lived for 8 years, but later found out my mother replaced it when I died.
Hang on, Sammy died?
Yeah.
They replaced the hamster?
Yes.
Got a hand.
Amanda.
Got a hand.
Go on.
I've got to hand it to getting a hamster that looks identical every single time for that. Because bear in mind that what do they last 2 years at the most?
Yeah, but it's not. Kids don't notice. I mean, you want to know the best story about my kid? Okay, the best story about my kid. My kid had a duvet. Right, the duvet was 2 foot by 3 foot. Tiny duvet. She had it from when she was very little. She had it when I inherited her. It was tiny. Okay? And we went. She was getting bigger, and we went, and we tried to replace this duvet over and over again. And we couldn't. She wanted this duvet. Right? In the end, what we did is we bought her a duvet cover. A tweenies duvet cover. Right, we showed her the duvet cover. She thought it was fantastic. We're going to put this on the duvet. Okay? So, the next day when she was at school, we got a new duvet, put the duvet cover on the new duvet, and put it on her bed. It took her weeks to twig it wasn't the same duvet. Right, she was convinced. The duvet was about 10 times bigger, but she didn't twig.
Probably just preferred the duvet.
No, she was very attached to the previous one. We've still got it somewhere.
Whenever we were younger, my brother got very attached to like a blankie, your security blanket. Yeah. Yes. And if I remember rightly, I think mine was red and black and his was yellow and white. And he got really, really attached to it. And my ma could not get it off. And so every time it would go to the wash to get washed, she would cut a chunk of it off. Until it got smaller and smaller. And then it was, oh no, just the machine's destroying it. It's that old. It's falling apart. It's getting old. Oh, look at that. Oh no, it's gone. It's gone now.
That's kind of fucked up.
My mom was a bitch. I had a spiffy jumper and she hated it because the spiffy jumper back in the day was like 90s fucking disco and all. It went to the wash and she just put it in the bin. No, I don't like what that represents. That's going in the bin.
That's both kind of funny, but I'm also really sad now.
Yes. Apparently most hamsters are brown.
And I also still have a favourite blanket, and fuck all of you.
Are you sure it's the same one it always was?
Yeah, because I bought it. It's not a childhood one. I got it a couple of years ago.
Aha. So you could replace it tomorrow?
No, because they don't sell them anymore.
But assuming they did.
No.
You're such a liar. You would just get another one.
If I had to, yes, but I'd rather not.
Manda.
So, my brother told me this story. He had this alarm clock that had it was a tape deck thing too, and the big button that opened the tape deck thing. He told me if I pushed that, it would blow up the world. I was like 4 years old, I think, and I believed him for a year. Like, I was scared to death, but I really, really, really wanted to push that button. For like a whole year, I honestly thought that.
Now the question is
the button. Yeah.
Did you work it out beforehand, or did you go and press it?
I think I went and pressed. I think I was like, nah, this can't. Like after a year or so, I was like, nah, this can't be real. But maybe I'll just try it. And I pressed it. Nothing happened. So.
I'll be right back. I'm getting my favorite blanket.
Right. Next question, I think. Question.
Wait, did you answer?
What was the question? Yes. Yes, I answered.
Okay.
Right.
Making sure. I'm paying attention, I swear.
Question 569. What is the most bizarre wrong number / person message that you have ever received? Personal message.
Not the bizarre one really, but I had one for like almost 6 months straight with someone who'd obviously given out the wrong number or something when they filled something in online. I kept getting phone calls to this guy, but nothing really bizarre though.
The messages? I think it's a lot harder to do the messages wrong now because they because most people don't actually dial numbers.
Mm.
Badger?
Yes.
Answer?
What was the question? I was getting my blanket.
What is the most bizarre wrong number / personal message you have ever received?
Okay. So, my mother has an email address. That email address is name.name@place.
Yeah.
She keeps getting emails for someone whose email address is apparently the same, but without the dot.
Wait a minute. Not Gmail, no?
It's Gmail, yeah.
Yeah, dots don't count.
Yeah, that I think is the problem. But she still keeps getting these emails, and we've tried to figure this out. I'm pretty sure the person actually exists, and it's not just phishing.
Yeah.
And we keep
We've
getting like
had-
bills and stuff for them.
Do you know what we've got? One of our companies is set up as a domain, and there is a company with a similar name in the States.
Oh, and it
We-
signed
they-
her into Facebook as this person as well.
Interesting. And we keep getting emails about delivery notices. Can you collect this thing at this? And I contacted the company and told them they had the wrong email address. They were giving out the wrong email address. And I did it for about 4 or 5 weeks. Okay, and they still kept sending these. Their customers kept sending these things through.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and in the end, they refused to do anything about it. So I started responding to them saying, "Yeah, we'll be there." Took less than a week. And I stopped receiving them.
I did something once to. I want to say, and I want to preface this is not my current GP surgery, but my former GP surgery. When I recognised the number when they rang me one time, and I just thought I'm just going to have a little bit of payback to see how it feels. So I just happened to have my computer next to me and be on at the time, and went on YouTube, stuck on Beethoven's Ode to Joy. Answered the phone, so they hear do 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 do. Stop it! You are held in a queue. Will be answered shortly. Please hold the line. Do 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 do.
I've done that with scammers.
Yeah. I see how this fucking feels. Every time I try and ring you, that's what I fucking get.
MathPig.
You do know I do a show with Richard every Thursday.
Yes, but that's not a phone call. You don't. He doesn't accidentally connect and then talk shit at you. You actually you encourage it.
I don't know. No, never really had someone just phone me up and then it's like, "You've got the wrong number. Fuck off," and just hang up on them.
How about just random people in the street?
That have ever just stopped to talk to me.
Yeah, or you're randomly picked up, or
Oh, I got one.
The look in Manda's face when you said that thing, Dave.
she knows what I'm talking about.
I got one from when I was a small
This is
child.
like daggers then for a second.
Go on, Badger.
So I was swimming in a swimming pool with my dad. I was like between 5 and 8, I think. And I was going down this big outdoor floomy ridey thing, and I was quite small, so I got kind of swept away by the current. So I grabbed onto my dad's leg and just kind of clung to him. Once we got to the bottom of the ride, I realized it was in fact not my dad's leg. It was some random woman.
Yes.
That was awkward as fuck.
I remember fucking with some kids. I assume I was related to them.
Right, phrasing, Dave.
Yeah, I must have been. I must have been one of my mate's kids, and we were walking along, and they had to let go of it. They had to let go of their parents' hand, so I stepped in and took the hand, and we walked in opposite directions. See how long the kid would notice.
What?
Well, you know, the things you do. I mean, we were going in the same direction. I mean, we were vaguely going in the same direction, so it wasn't like it was... and it took several minutes before they noticed, because as far as they were concerned, the hand was there, the hand was being held, and they were walking. When did you turn around and look? Ask Badger.
When you get to the bottom of the outdoor ride and you look up and the leg that you're hugging is not your dad's.
Nacho.
What was the question again?
What's the most bizarre wrong number / personal message that you've ever received?
Yeah, personal everything that John Richards ever sent me.
Is he still messaging you?
Yeah, the last thing he sent me after he'd blocked me and all that sort of jargon, and the last thing he'd sent me was something like asking me to write for him again after I'd blasted him. So I didn't quite understand how that worked, but yeah.
He's a very odd man.
There's a certain
odd man.
Certain lack of self-awareness there, I think, of him.
Just general awareness.
Yes.
By the way, do you need
like
any
you
more
said.
lines voiced for him?
What lines voiced? You think you could do a good him?
I did.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was great. He did a great job of that, man.
I boggle that he obviously now thinks that he was obviously continuing the drama because he thought it was benefiting him, and then as soon as he doesn't, he then starts threatening to sue people.
Well,
pretty much.
Yeah, that's I don't know what's going on. That seems to have gone quiet, but I don't know what's going to happen. But probably not the right place to be talking about it, really.
No, not at all.
So,
but that's a good answer.
Yeah,
Manda.
I got this text one time. That was a sexy picture from a woman, and I was like, and she was like, I had a lot of fun meeting you last night. I thought I'd send you this. I was thinking of you, and I was like, you have the wrong number. So whoever gave her the number purposely gave her a wrong number. It was just mine. So then she's like, well, are you single? I'm like, okay. But I ended up talking for like an hour or so. She was very nice, but I felt really bad because she really liked this girl that she had, she thought I was, and yeah, it was strange though. Just like open my phone up and see this mostly naked picture of this woman that I had no idea who she was. So, like, thanks, but I'm not whoever you think I am. Sorry.
Was she nearby?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean Atlanta, because they're all same area code, pretty much. So.
Ah.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So that was, and she even asked me, like I said, I think you have the wrong number, and she was like, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "I'm sure. Am I sure? Of course I'm sure." So, yeah, that was weird.
Seraphim says, "What about wearing that sexy little skirt that the sender likes at work? Someone thinking they're calling their bank." To be honest, I can't remember. I definitely know that I have intentionally fucked with people by phoning random numbers and saying random things. It was a small town. There wasn't very much to do.
So were you censoring the whole town?
But not in that... Yes. Sure, why not? Yes, so that's my fun story. Right, next... Oh, I see. Next question. Question 570. Who is the person you regret hooking up with the most, and why? Obviously, I'm not expecting a name.
Yeah, there's several people in this one. Have to be very careful how they answer this.
Amanda will say, well, can we call him MP for short?
Massive penis?
That works too.
No.
Stop.
Stop it. Stop.
It vibrates now. Jeff.
I've never really. There's only one person I've ever really been with for a long time or whatever. I'm still friends with them. I do have a lot of regrets about hooking up with her. Because I feel like I wasted 6 years.
Yeah.
Well, that's not a
Okay,
hookup, that's a fucking
I was gonna say,
relationship.
Yeah.
I regret
Well,
a
I don't-
relationship.
I mean, there was one girl who perhaps wanted to get married after like 2 hours I'd met her, and I'm like, nah, yeah, I think I'm gonna just go to the toilet and we'll talk about this in a minute, and sort of sneak out the back door. Taxi.
Amanda?
Just whatever.
Massive penis.
There's this guy in high school I was friends with. We went to prom together. And a few years after high school, I'd come home. I'd was home from school during the summer, I think. And he invited me to a party at his brother's house. I remember waking up in his bed and thinking, what the fuck did I do? So I'd go with that.
Seraphib says, I don't regret any of them, no shame. And Doc says, myself. Sammy says, my sister-in-laws. There's several of them. MathPig?
Never had a one-night stand in my life.
Nacho?
I don't know how to put it because none of y'all know her, and I don't even particularly remember her name.
Why'd you
But
regret
we
it?
did have a nickname for her that was quite, in the grand scheme of things, sounds terribly derogative. But when you actually get to know her, you realize, oh no, that's very apt.
Go on.
She was literally nicknamed by us, bitch. Very long story. I'm not even gonna go into that one.
So why did you hook up with her then?
Literally, or is it a random friends party, shall we say? And one of my other friends met her in the street out front randomly that night and decided to try and hook me up with her. And I was like, I'm pretty open-minded. I'll give everything a go. But the next morning and the next week, I was just like, God damn, how do I get out of this? It was pretty bad. It was really bad, actually. I've been through some crazy. This wasn't just crazy. This was just literally insane. Like, actually certified.
Fuck.
Gotcha.
So not worth it.
Yeah, I mean, it was more about waking up the next morning and going, okay, now I have to figure out how to get out of this without dying.
Oh.
This is like crazy Russian lady kind of crazy.
What the hell?
Yeah.
And you thought you were mixed up in a cult before. Badger.
Is that why you go by NotJah now? It's not actually the witnesses, it's just that.
Witness protection.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Okay.
Keep away from her.
There was this girl I met through a roleplay group I was in.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
it was a terrible idea. She had problems. And it kind of went from like a just a messing around on the sofa kind of thing to you know how distant I like to be from people.
Yep.
She went from that sort of level of just being friends through this roleplay group to I want to be the most important thing in your life immediately. I left the roleplay group for a year.
Oh, because of her?
Yes. Although I didn't admit that to them at the time. I said, I'm having some issues and I need to deal with some stuff and I'm going to go do other stuff for a bit. But then about a year later, they were like, yeah, we miss you. You should come back. I was like, yeah, I miss you guys too. I think I will. By the way, that person left last week. I was like, oh, that's convenient. But I did not know that when I agreed to go back, but she assumes that I did and only went back because she wasn't there anymore.
So have you spoken to her since?
Oh, yeah. Not often, but once or twice.
Yeah.
It was awkward as fuck.
Doc? Doc? No. NotJah. Doc wants to know, is she single now?
Well, the last I saw her, she was fucking my best friend in a lake, and we slit her tires of her car. And from what I hear, she didn't realize until she was already on the highway. No, I have no idea if she's single.
Wait there. Your current best friend, or your best friend at the time?
At the time.
There's some gaps in this story I'd like filled in.
Why did you slit her tires?
There was a lot of things getting filled in. Well, that wasn't necessarily my choice. I have friends that did things without me even knowing until later.
You said we slit her tires.
Right, I have to ask.
Well,
when in the
it's
scale
been
of
years
these
ago,
things...
and we were there as a Okay, so I got a friend who, you don't mess with some people. You know how you go to New York and there are just certain people you wouldn't mess with? She's one of those sort of people. And so
you messed with her?
I accidentally... Say again?
So you messed with her?
Not at all. Not this one. No. This was one of my actual friends who I was like calling to bail me out of this situation because we were camping and the girl, the bitch, got with my best friend at the time while we were camping, and I had no way home except for this girl because it was her car that we all came in, and I was like, this is really inconvenient because now clearly you're not with me all of a sudden. And so I called up my friend because I thought, she's still one of my best friends too. But I was like, hey, can you come give me a lift home? I want out of this situation sort of thing. She's like, yeah, for sure. She came, but unfortunately I told her the story of what was going on, and she decided to take matters into her own hands. And she had people, come and slit the bitch's tires. And she was so wasted, and this was like midday, but she was the bitch was so wasted that she did not realize that her tires were all slit until she was down the highway. So I can't imagine the ride home for those few that were still there, because I just was like, I'm out. I'm done. Took all my gear and I was out of there.
These don't strike me as good Christian friends.
Well, look, that one friend that helped to get me out of there, she is the best. Like, you cannot get a better friend than that. Trust me. She's the sort of person that no matter what trouble you get into, you can get out of it. Yeah. It's always good having a friend like that.
So this is the friend you would go to if you accidentally murdered someone?
No, this would be the friend that would help me accidentally murder someone.
Just say.
I just want to accidentally. You know what?
No, I'm not going to even say her name. Not at all.
You know what they say? Just a friend will help you move, but the best friend will help you move the body.
Exactly. It's always good to have one friend like that in your corner. I have a few actually, but that's one on that one side of the town.
Right, our last question for today. Question 571. Would you rather have the nose of an aardvark or the legs of a terrier?
Always ends.
Oh well, I mean, Badger kind of already. Sorry.
Badger's already halfway there with the aardvark thing, isn't he? So,
He really's on his way. You know.
I'm what?
What sort of question?
oh, it's gonna have to be like nose of an aardvark.
No, no,
You ever
how-
watch
how-
that
how did-
show? Was
how
it
did you
Arthur?
phrase that?
Aardvark.
How did
Badger,
you
they're
phrase
saying
that?
you're a cheap imitation of an aardvark.
No, it was the other part of it I wanted to
With-
hear again.
Which part?
That I'm halfway there.
Yes.
You're halfway towards the nose of an aardvark.
Oh, you're halfway there. Whoa! You fucking no.
By the way, MathPig, I think you realize Amanda's hoping you say nose of an aardvark for this question for other reasons.
Oh, God.
The nose is kind of long.
He's got a pig nose. He's good at
Whoa.
sniffing out truffles.
Oh, hang on.
Conveniently shaped.
I can do this. Here we go.
Sammy says aardvark nose. No,
I
be
literally
honest, this is
heard
an
when you
easy-
said aardvark, I didn't hear the rest of the question.
There we go.
Legs of a terrier.
Or a terrier.
There we go. I fixed it.
Would you rather have the nose of an aardvark or the legs of a terrier?
Yeah, but what sort of
This is a-
terrier?
What sort of terrier? A Jack Russell.
This question
Oh, one of
too
the.
easy.
Oh,
then.
jeez. Okay.
This question's
Um,
too easy in that respect.
Can I
Why?
have both?
No, you got to pick one.
Oh. I'd have the legs. I'd have the legs of the little dog.
I mean, your
'Cause,
biggest
I
problem
mean,
is going to
there's.
be Go on.
I was going to say, there's nothing more cute.
nothing more cute. I mean, the biggest problem you've got is what's going to drag along the ground next to them. I mean, they're tiny little legs.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Well,
They're
you know,
not
there's
re- they're
plastic
not really
surgery
good
for
at-
that.
They're not
Okay.
really going to support like a human body weight. I would have thought.
No, they would. They'd be quite chunky terrier legs.
Mm.
It'd have to be. But they go down
Well,
to the point.
What I did
What?
not expect what I did not expect when I typed in aardvark into the image search was hyena penises.
What the fuck? How is that even relevant? Like, how did Google do that?
Google
I-
knows him.
Wait,
Well,
is this just it went back to your past previous history?
No,
That's what it
I,
did.
I,
Yes,
I,
no,
don't,
of
I don't
course.
have search history because I use reasons. But
Do you use
Think-
DuckDuckGo?
no, I use a VPN and start page.
Fair enough.
Ew.
But
Yeah,
aardvark noses do look a little bit like hyena penises.
And you're halfway there. That's lovely.
And I'm living on a prayer.
Right, so Badger's having the nose. Nacho's having the legs. Scummer's having the
nose.
nose. Manda.
I don't know. Probably the legs. I don't want to fuck up my face any more than it already is. So.
Yeah, me and Amanda will be running around like all cute with little legs. It'll be
Yeah,
awesome.
exactly.
MathPig.
I'm going with the nose, stupid legs.
Stupid legs.
Dave.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Alright, if I could choose working human legs, I'd have the nose.
Yeah.
Whereas if I could choose my legs now, I'd take the terrier legs.
Fair.
I don't think you'd be able to reach the ground from your ball with terrier legs.
I can't reach the ground now.
No.
My ball's huge.
Oh, I bet you'd say that.
I'll show you after the stream. What was I going to say? Right.
And we've lost Amanda.
She's gone. Completely and utterly.
On that note, we've broken Manda.
We have. Right. On that note, we are going to say thank you very much to Manda, who can keep a straight face. Badger. MathPig.
Oink.
Nacho.
Hell.
And to Jeff.
So,
And anyone got anything exciting coming up before we run away?
Yeah, Atheist Flashbacks this Saturday night for you guys-ish, morning, Saturday-ish,
Middle of
Friday,
the night.
before Leah. If you'll know when Leah is, got a couple hours before that, you'll be right. Come check it out on my channel.
Leah is the worst possible time on the planet. You do a really good
Go
show.
fuck yourself.
And it's a horrific time.
No, well, I mean, like, it's legit pretty hard to find a good time.
It
that
is.
works.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I appreciate it's only a horrific time for us here, but I've managed to catch about 5 minutes live. Or passing out.
But they're good. And this week's Nevada, or we're
How the
gonna
hell
have a
did you
lot of fun.
prepare?
Oh, I know, it's really hard. I know it's trying to get us lined up in the one place at the one time. It almost never happens.
I know.
How's the cheesecake supplies?
Fucking never there.
it always just seems to mysteriously disappear whenever Mero's around, I think.
It's pretty much right. Yeah.
Yeah,
you're right.
I still fucking love that we persuaded her to eat it on camera in front of us.
And I still hold it against her.
From it though, because she ate too much.
She did. She hated it. She really hated it.
So some might call that karma.
No, I'm just like, that makes it even worse because it's like you didn't even enjoy it. Like I would have eaten the whole thing and enjoyed it. You know, you wasted it. Fucking hell.
Karma doesn't do anything anymore because it's somewhere down the motorway with slipped tires.
You know what her excuse is too? This is always her excuse. It's, we raised some money, which was true. It was fantastic, and I appreciate that. But, you know, she raised $10 from that cheesecake.
How much is the
It was
cheesecake?
a $12 cheesecake. $12 cheesecake. Like, come on.
I think she maintains that she didn't steal the cheesecake, merely liberated it.
She freed it from.
Tasted cheesecake, that show.
Well,
Make your own next time, NotJah.
Don't give me that shit. That was her fucking choice because last time I chose to buy the $3 cheesecake and she's like, it's shit. And now look, we get the $12. We get the $12. We get the $12 one and she's like, it's shit. She gets sick. Like, fuck me dead. Can't please this woman. Next time I have to buy a $50 fucking cheesecake. Like, come on, she'll just eat it all,
Yeah, she'll eat it all, $10.
and then hate me for it. You know, she'll be just like, it sucked.
Yeah. Now,
This is the abuse I deal with.
Dave,
Yeah.
Oh,
I
fuck.
do actually have something coming up later today.
Do you?
I do.
Do you have a link?
Are you coming out your hole?
I do have a link somewhere.
I'm going to
Let me
probe
find
his
it.
hole.
So, later today, I have a special guest coming on my channel.
Who is it? Who is it? Are they good?
He's a bit weird. I've got a special guest coming on my channel.
Well, let me guess. Is it Dave?
It's Dave. I've got a special guest coming on my channel to discuss whether dueling should be legal.
So you finally actually booked someone onto your channel. So you can actually do that, Badger.
Wait, Badger, you have people on your channel?
Wait. We're not sold
Wait,
on it actually
Badger,
happening.
you do videos?
Yeah, occasionally. Sometimes they're not
damn.
just a mouse in the garden.
So who
Hey,
is
that's some quality entertainment.
who's debating dueling with you then?
Well, I got some guy who bounces on a ball.
Okay.
Is this dueling like the two swords play, kind of
Well,
dueling, or?
If you look at the
Wait! Didn't you say?
actually,
I'm not looking at nothing. I'm over having a
wait a
cigarette. So
second. Here is. Oh, that's not it. Here is
oh,
the
you're still trying
thumbnail
to show me
of
shit.
the live stream. There you go.
All right, I'll come back to my
Very nice.
computer.
How
I
very
gotta admit,
Australian of you.
Yeah.
if you've killed his father, you're pretty fucked. Like,
So that's
I've read this story.
at 7 o'clock UK time, possibly, unless we fuck it up. And there's a link in the chat, but that's if I can make YouTube's scheduling system work, which last time I couldn't, and I had to make a new link.
Don't you need like me and someone else's seconds if you two of you are going to have a duel?
We're not going to have a duel. We're
If
discussing
you're
dueling.
having trouble
Well,
with
hang on,
your
hang on.
time
Dave, you have no idea how this stream might end yet.
Yeah, we're not having a duel. I thought it was the point.
We're going to discuss the terms for our duel.
It's
Dude,
either
if-
going to be swords or pistols.
It's not going to be fucking
Oh.
pistols,
Be
that's
sausages.
cheating.
if
You
it's
want a
swords, I'm
sausage
gonna
fight
go
with
with
me,
Badger.
Sausage
Swords
fight.
is going back. Pistols, I'm going to give Dave a shout with that one.
You want a sausage fight, Dave?
Hell yeah.
Boy, Badger loves these sausages. It might not be a fight.
Right,
We
also-
should do that script, NotJah.
Yes. Right. Tomorrow night at 10 p.m. UK, is the Lucy Luxor Speed Special, where she's going to answer the first 100 questions, and it's going to take her ages to do it because she
There's
thinks
no time
she can
limits on
answer
this.
these questions without being a pedant.
And
Say again?
there's a time limit on this, right?
No, but we are timing it.
Yeah, that could be a long stream, Dave.
Well, she thinks she can do 6 a minute, so it could be over in no time.
Okay. Interesting.
I think Caroline said she thinks 3 a minute. I reckon I can drag it out to at least 1 every 2 minutes. And it's going to be a very long
Considering
stream.
how long between like 5 of us it takes to answer one question, it could be.
Just the phrase of drag it out to 2 minutes, huh? Okay.
Right. I already said thank you to everybody. I'm saying thank you to everyone in the chat. Lucy says, I promise you it won't be long. I say thank you to everyone in the chat, and I will see you tonight at Badgers or tomorrow. Bye!
Bye.
Much love.
Bye.